Hello everyone, I'm Daisy of the Daisy Couture. I welcome you once again to another interesting tutorial. So in today's tutorial, I'm going to be teaching you how to cut and sew a shirt dress with a little bit of style. There will be pleating at the towards the end, so very pretty design and simple. So I'm going to be showing you how to cut directly and how to sew. So I'll be using this beautiful vintage material. The camera is actually not doing justice to how beautiful this material is. So with the shirt dress, I'm not going to be doing the regular collar shirt dress. I'm going to be doing a bishop collar. That's very easy. It's going to be in a separate video entirely, so I'm going to put the link in the description box so you can go ahead and check it out. So I'm going to be using this white material for the bishop collar to give it that popping out look. So very simple and very classy. So these are the material tools we'll be using. Definitely your tape measure, your curves, pins, because this fabric is not really stable, just to pin it down in a place, the scissors, and tailor's chalk. So without further ado, let us jump right into the tutorial. Okay, so the first thing, I got in my measurement. So the measurement of the length, the full length is 44, so I added 2 inches for hemming allowance, so this whole length is now 46. Okay, and I used the highest measurement, which is 36 inches. That's hips to fold there. So I divided my hip into 4. 36 divided by 4, that's 9, and I added 2 inches for sewing allowance. Please remember that I'm not going to be putting that in this dress, this shirt dress. And this is the back, so I want to cut the back first before I cut the front, because it's going to be easier to cut that way. It's just like you're adding zipper allowance to your back, so but in this case it's going to be button allowance for the front, so it's easier to cut the front first and then just place it on the back first, and then you just place it on the front directly. So the length is 46, that's 44 plus 2 inches, and then the width on fold is 11 inches. So let's continue. So I'm going to be using the neckline of 2.5 inches. I hope this chalk is going to show. So I'm using the neck width of 2.5 inches and the depth of 1 inch, because this is the back, so you just curve it a little. This is not pattern drafted, this is freehand. So the next thing is the shoulder. The shoulder for this client is 15 inches. So 15 divided by 2, I'll be dividing into 2, so that would be 7.5 inches. 7.5 inches. So I'll be adding 0.5 for sewing allowance in order for me to be able to attach my sleeve. So 7.5 plus 0.5, which is half inch, that's going to give us 8 inches. So I'll be marking 8 inches here. And now over to my shoulder slope, I'm going to be using 1 inch. 1 inch, and I'll connect the apex of my neckline. So it's very simple. If you can draft, or if you can cut your basic bodies, you should be able to do this perfectly. So so now the next thing is to determine our armhole circumference. So there is a formula for that, very simple. You divide your bust, our bust is 33, by 6, which is 5.5, then you add 1.5 to it, so that's 7 inches. So I'm going to be adding 0.5 inches for it for my sleeve, so that would be 7.5. So I'm going to start from our shoulder slope here, 1 inch from this place. So I'll measure 7.5. 7.5. I already used pin to hold this down because of the nature of the fabric, so I'm not going to have difficulties putting this fabric down. So that's if you are using this kind of fabric, make sure you do the same, so you're going to have a smooth cutting. So now the next thing, I'm going to be putting my bust circumference on this shoulder, on this my armhole line. So that's 33 divided by 4, so 8.25. remember I'm adding 2 inches, so that's 10.25. in case you don't know how to read your tape, this is 10.25, this is 10 inches and this is 10.25, so 10.25. I'm going to be marking that. Now the next is my waist. So the half length is 15 inches, so I'm going to be adding 0.5 for joining of the shoulder, so that'll be 15.5. so the waist is 27 inches, so 27 divided by 4, just follow what I'm doing, it's very simple, plus 2 inches, so that'll be 8.75. okay, in case you don't know how to read your tape, this is 8.75, this is 8.5, this is 8.75. so it's like you're learning 2 in 1. You're learning how to read your tape in case you don't know how to, and you're learning how to cut and sew a shirt dress with a bishop collar. Isn't that interesting? Yeah. So now the next thing is the hip. So the hip depth is 9 inches. So since this shirt dress, now let's, I folded this with the hip circumference, so there's no need to measure. Since the shirt dress, you can decide to make this thing as loose as possible, so you can just connect to your waist and then connect to your hip and leave the whole thing as straight as this, or you can decide to just make it a bit shapy at the end. Maybe you come in by 1 to 2 inches, so it depends on what you want or what your client wants. So for me, I'm just going to be coming in by 1 inch because I'm still going to be adding pleating by the side, so it's still going to be very free at the end of the day. So now the next thing is connect. Just connect. So it's all up to you if you want it to be fitted or if you want it to be loose. So it's all up to you. That's up to you. So I'll just 1 inch because at the end of the day it will still be free, and I can still decide later to depends. So depends. So it connects. So the neck 2.5, let's just reiterate, 2.5 by 1 inch. Then the shoulder 15 inches plus 0.5, and I came down by 1 inch for the shoulder slope. Then I got my armhole by the formula I showed you earlier. Then I placed my bust circumference here and the waist circumference here on my half length plus 0.5 inches. Then my hip circumference here, so, and I connected the whole thing. So let's cut. So if you are yet to subscribe, please subscribe to my channel, help me grow. And if you want to see any other tutorial that is not on my channel, just drop it in the comment box and I'm going to work on it. So here we teach how to draft, how to cut, how to sew. We talk about the business part of fashion, we talk about different things. So whatever your idea is, just drop it in the comments. And please make sure you share. Please, it's very important. We need to grow. Help me to grow. So by subscribing, that's going to give me ginger to make more interesting videos for you guys. So please subscribe. Thank you. So I'm done cutting the back. So now I've placed it on the front. So for the front, remember, like I said, it's just like you're adding your zipper allowance. So the center front, this folded area, or you can even do this way since you're going to be dividing this, so it really does not matter. So I added 2.5. So I started from 2.5. So 2.5 down till the to the end. So 2.5. So I'm going to be able to fold my button. So 2.5. So you can decide to play with it. You can increase yours, and you can, so it's all up to you. So very simple. After placing it on it, the rest is just just to cut. The only difference is going to be the neckline, because for the front it's going to be a bit deeper than the back. So apart from that, every other thing you cut it. So I said for this shirt dress, it's not going to be like normal shirt straight down. So I'm going to be adding a bit of juice, so to speak. So I'm going to be adding pleating to the down part, just one side of the dress, like from the middle back to the middle front. So I'm going to be adding pleating from just like 2 or 3 inches below the hip line. So before that, let me just cut this out first. And I've already pinned the back down as well, so I'm not going to, so I won't have issues with it. It's going to save you lots of trouble while doing that. So in case you are working with fabric that is not stable, so just do that. So, and I realized that this video is getting too long, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to be making a video on how to sew separately. So I'll be putting the link in the description box. So I don't want the video to be too long, so you won't get tired or bored. So and please, if you want to cut this style, suggest you use 2 inches if you're a size 10 and below. So you're going to have enough room to pleat and that's around that part. So, and eventually I had to cut this into 2 because I told you that the pleating is going to be starting from the middle back to the middle front. So please, when you are cutting your neckline, make sure you add 0.5 to the neckline or 0.25 depending on how many inches you're going to need to sew it back. So but for me, I'll just be using like just very tiny because I didn't add it, so it's very tiny. So please, when you're doing yours, make sure you add your sewing allowance, your joint allowance to the neckline. That's if you're going to be doing this exact same style. So I said for the front, I'm going to it's going to be different. So I'll be using 2.5. So it will be 2.5 by 2.5. So just pop it a little bit, and when it gets to this place, just straighten your hand. So just sit back. There's a pin here, so I'll just please, if you're here to subscribe, please subscribe, and if you subscribe, put on the notification bell so you will know immediately I post another informative and educative video for you. So now we are done with that. So the next thing, I told you that I'm going to be adding pleating. So I'm going to be starting from 27 inches. You can decide to start your own from anywhere. So 27 inches, that's where I'm going to start my. But note that it's just one part of it. So you have to be sure that it's the right part that you want to cut. So before that, so I'm going to be very sure you won't end up making a costly mistake. So I'll just cut it into two, and then I'll place the right side facing right side together, so I will know the parts that will be having the plating and the back which would not be having. So because if you don't do that, you might end up cutting the right side for the front and then the wrong side for the back, if you get what I mean. So, or the left side I mean. So you have to cut right and right for both front and back, or left and left for both front and back. So I'm just notching it so I know where my button is starting from. So now we have our front and we have our back. So I'll pin them together, and I don't want to separate just yet. So I know this is my right, this is my left. So for the front, so I'll just place them on top of each other like this. So I'll know the parts that I'm cutting. So it's this part and this part that I'm going to be needing. So I'll just remove the pins and then cut it off. So okay, so like I said, know the side that you want. If it's the left side, it's the right side, just make sure you face them together. So this is my front and this is my back, so I place them on each other to avoid mistakes. And so after doing that, I'll just determine where I want my pleating to start from. So like I said, I want to start from 27 inches, just a little bit below my hip line. So I've pinned them together to avoid scattering. I don't want unnecessary edits. So after doing that, all you need to do is just slide through, so to speak. So now this is front and this is back. So all you need to do is, it's either, if you're trying to minimize and maximize the amount of fabric you have, just join this together and then look for extra piece too and join, maybe ×2 or ×3 of this whole unit. Just attach it together, and then after joining, and you just place it together. So I hope you get entirely, maybe like ×3 of this whole width or whatever you just cut out, both the front and back, ×3 of it, and then so you put it back into it. Or like I said, you can join this together, also cut out of your remaining fabric, join it together, and then you pleat. So like I said, I don't want this video to be too long, so in another video I'm going to be teaching you how to join this lovely piece together. So watch out for it. I'm going to put the link in the description box, definitely. So please make sure you watch, make sure you share if you're able to follow to this point. Thank you very much. If this is your first time, please join the family, subscribe, and put on the notification bell. So thank you for joining. See you in my next video.